Good evening for those who are watching this video at Eastern Standard Time. You know, I decided to just put a little something together really fast because um, I've seen that society, whichever society you fit in, whichever society you was raised based on your understanding, you know, and then moving forward from there, society has a way of identifying certain individuals, based on their understanding, as I say. So it allowed me to just put something together to kind of like re-explain some things, maybe, and this is because I took an Uber a couple days ago, and the driver was listening to a particular, program, the one that I'm familiar with, you know, and I've seen that right away based on what he's seen. It was more so like, and he asked me, say, how do I know who this person is, or how do you know about this information, and he talked. He was basically listening to this gentleman by the name of Alex Jones. As soon as I walked into his car, all the way until he left out into the main road. I was quiet and I was listening to what he was talking about, and I was like, yeah, he's good, isn't he? And I was like, Alex Jones, and he said, how do you know about Alex Jones? And individuals that just know me, you know what I mean, and then they see, I guess they see color, whatever they see, and then when I begin to speak, it's more like, how do you know this information? Because this gentleman, you know what I mean, is from a different total society, you know what I mean, based on his understanding, seeing the person that I am, knowing and seeing who Alex Jones is, and then for the people that do know me, or think that they know me, they really don't, know me. It's a difference, people always know of you, but I put something together so you can really understand, maybe, who April is, instead of thinking that who April is just because I speak on mental health. I speak on the things that are asked of me to speak up, by certain individuals, and then I hit those topics and I speak about that, and then I give a story behind the reason why I speak about mental health, because I can relate to that story. But then when it comes down to April, to me, I am a person that is very informational, seeking, information seeking person, if you can understand what I mean by that, because you have two different type of individuals. You have the individuals who, of course, graduated from high school, went to college, continued their career, and then they know information, based on what they attend to school, and then society sees them as, because they went to school and have these degrees and stuff like that they actually, they know a lot of stuff, and they're the individual that in the society will call successful, right? And then you have the other individuals, who have graduated high school, then they work a regular job and stuff like that, and the individuals see, their path, what they went through and stuff like that, and then they see what they're trying to achieve and stuff like that, and then they won't really consider those or even think that those individuals will be successful. Then you have those individuals like that, which I fall into that category, who are totally different, and I'm going to explain what I mean about that, because I think when I was 20 something years old, that I started seeking certain information in regards to what's going on in the world, what are those things that I really don't know that were not taught in school, that was always me, so I came across Alex Jones with InfoWars, and he talks about some of the different things that goes on in the world, and in the war, whether it's conspiracy or whatever, I want to know what it is. I want to get down to the bottom line of different things, and then of course, through the course of that and my information seeking, self, because I wanted to know more and more, then I got into started seeing what happened in CNN News, and then compare that, to the local news, how the local news, it basically plays the same exact thing, and then it plays a part on, I believe, programming, CNN, it's more of, I mean, it's still world news, but I think it's a lot more of not just what happened in your community, in your world, but also worldwide news, and of course in different worlds. I also I am a person that I have over 50 YouTube subscription, seeking information and awareness. I am always, there's a lot of individuals out there, that think alike, you know what I mean, that are, I guess, on a certain platform when it comes down to, whatever they seek and whatever they study, whatever they know, whether they're successful at their thing. So I will look for information, and those individuals, of course, I'll subscribe to their channel. Whatever comes out new, whatever they're doing, I'll model it to. These are things that for me are outside the box, and I do a lot of stuff that is outside the box. I have over 15 spiritual guided teachings, also on YouTube that I've subscribed to, and I get those alerts, and they talk about, becoming one with spirit, meditation, yoga. Those are the things that I also started doing, when I was in my early 20s. One of the things that I wrote down is that he asked me questions about Donald Trump, of course, based on what he see, my complexion, whatever, because I don't really get into the black and white thing, like I said, my eyes see totally different. I'm a totally different being, and not to say that I wasn't raised with that, there's things that I've seen, but I didn't really engage in those things, if that makes sense to you. And then he asked me about other countries, problems. He asked me about other countries. He asked me about problems that exist in other countries. For example, mom and kids being put into jail cell, and fathers, in other jail cells. I wrote about this conversation, I'll say about a year and a half ago, maybe so, or maybe 2 years ago. But I wrote about this, and I still have the paper to this day. And I wrote it based on a discussion that was going on, and my marketing gentleman, we was talking, and he asked me to write about something. I wrote about that, and I included, the things like this that happened. At that time, this conversation, it was not acceptable. This subject, this message, the principles within this message, was not acceptable because it was something that the public wasn't aware of, And then as time went by and stuff like that, now you see that, of course, now things are coming up in other countries that has been happening, that for some reason, I'm not in the political party. I'm not in those, I'm not at the White House, and I don't know exactly what's going on up there. So I don't know and understand the reason why, these things that been happening, in other countries, especially in Panama, because it's something that I experienced, at a younger age and stuff like that with my mother and my stepfather, so I have no idea why these things are coming up now when it's been happening. Maybe they have their own political reasons, their own sign bill right reasons. Maybe they want to, become partnership into something. I don't know, but it's something that's been going on. So as far as he wanted my opinion, but I was like, hey, it's something that's been going on, Going back to my YouTube and my subscriptions, identifying that the mind played at times and continues to play, certain things, repetition when it comes down to mindset. You know what I mean? So, of course, I'll share with you guys that I've read books and things of nature because I was seeking information on how to shut my mind off. You know what I mean? So, identifying that the mind played at times a continuous beat, sound, or movie of the past and events in my mind, I went into depth of how to rebuild the frequencies, brain waves, that I felt that was inactive in myself, in my brain, and my mind. So I started listening to binaural beats. And what that is when two similar frequencies are played in each ear, when you're listening to headphones. And I kind of went on a little bit to explain. Your brain will process this information and you will hear a third frequency. For example, when one ear is listening to 100 hertz of sound, then the other one is listening to 110 hertz of sound, then as a result, you will hear 10 hertz as a result, because there are different frequencies of the brain waves it is said that the binaural beats that you hear can induce a certain state of mind, and they have, of course, different ones. For example, I understood that there was something basically going on, that there was something inactive. And I kind of related it to, just being at the hospital. I was always curious about when they hook you up to those machines, and you start seeing lines, you know what I mean? And then I related those to brain frequencies, you know what I mean? And I see exactly how that thing operates. So me seeking information, seeking things, I'm like, okay, if there is some type of inactive, you know what I mean, anything in my brain, I want to learn how to repair it, naturally. So I got into listening to binaural beat sounds. For example, I listened to one that's deal with miracles, and that has 528 hertz sound. I listened to Manifesting Healing, and that has 741 hertz sounds. So there's different ones that you can basically search on YouTube that you can put your headphones on, listen to at night when you're going to sleep, and you let it work basically on its own. Our mind was basically meant to heal itself. I know that my brain is a computer. I know that, also the more I seek information, the more I give it more positive information, the more it will have more positive information to give out. Seeking knowledge, seeking knowledge of the person of whom you want to become, no matter the definition of your success. You know what I mean? That's still part of me. Doesn't matter exactly what you're going for. Remember, you cannot be the same person, you know what I mean, and still trying to seek the exact same thing. You have to become the person that you're looking for. That's basically what it is. So what I did is, of course, I read a lot of different books, but I found principles in those books that I started to study and do just like they did. For example, Earl Nightingale, As a Man Think. I love that book, and I followed those principles inside of that book. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That's another great book. And as a matter of fact, I have this book right here. It's like a Bible to me. Your Invisible Power. There are different things, that I've basically read and I've understood, and some of the minds of us, of course, are not yet ready for it, because I wasn't ready for that information in my early, just say when I was 19, but when I started being in my certain 20s and something happened in your life and you said enough is enough, and then you start growing, more information start coming to you. As you keep going and seeking your path into whatever success you're trying to seek, you would have started attracting those things even more and more and more, okay? I'm not trying to start any type of rival or anything like that, but I don't look at the black and white and the slavery and all the other stuff, how other people look at it. I don't engage in those conversations. I don't read newspapers for certain reasons. There are certain things that I just don't do. I'm a different total type of being, but this is part of me, because I've always believed that, and I wrote about it. I said slavery starts in the mindset. There are a lot of reprogramming that we need to do. Let me not say that word, because in some people's understanding will not be acceptable. Let's use conditioning, okay? One must recondition self and reprogram their mindset from what is the norm, from what is safe, and from what it used to be, okay? And I've learned and I've understood that there are different things out there that we know about, different societies. For example, they have the Illuminatis, they have the Masons, they have different fraternities and stuff like that, and in those certain fraternities and stuff like that, they practice their own belief, they practice their own thing, they practice their own principles, and believe it or not, they have also learned the same principles that these individuals inside of these books that they teach. You understand me? And one of the things that struck to me was that, in this book, it says the exact same thing. And so when it comes down to the mindset, it said, there are no limitations to what the mind accepts, those we acknowledge. Both poverty and riches are the offsprings of thought. And you can see that by those who are living their life a certain way and those who attract a certain thing. So when it comes down, about April and April Owens, there are so many different parts of me that people see that they still don't see, but then yet I am all one in this in me, because this is what I deliver at all time. I deliver positivity. love, doesn't matter what it is, but that all became and all because of me reprogramming myself, working on my stuff, still continuing to work on my craft, still continuing to becoming one, still continue to, listening to those individuals that give me advice, tell me exactly what to do and what to practice on an everyday basis. So, this is just a little bit of me and what I'm giving you today. Have a good one.